Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, so I figured that today, instead of doing a whole bunch more of the 2D hockey, we'll skip ahead a little bit and play some 3D hockey. So we're going to just go ahead and jump straight into this. This is NHL 97 on the PlayStation, and I have not played this before, so we'll see what it's like. Everything here in the emulators, that's what I'm using, is set up to be just like as if we were running this on an actual PlayStation. So it is going to be a little slow to load, but that's just sort of the way it is. So we want that auto. We'll have no offsides. Auto skill level. We'll turn this to rookie since that's like the way that it is. Okay, I'm not sure what I did. Whatever. All right, now we sort of sit back and wait. Here we go.
Tonight's game comes from the McNichols Sports Arena, where the Colorado Avalanche host the visiting Florida Panthers. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. Tonight's starting lineup for the Avalanche.
All right, so we'll skip through a lot of the introductory stuff.
Welcome
This is pretty cool,
to EA
though.
Sports Hockey Night. I'm John Davidson, and we have a great matchup here tonight. We have one of the league's best goalies between the pipes. It certainly will be a challenge to get the puck past him and put some goals on the board. Let's get down to the ice for the drop of the puck.
So unlike NHL 94 on the Sega CD, this one I think takes a little bit more advantage of the capabilities and possibilities of having a CD-based system. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and start the game and see what it's like. I haven't looked up anything for the controls or anything like that yet. If you compare this to what were we playing again? We were playing Blades of Steel right on the N64. These graphics are not quite all the way there, but it's all right. It's all right. We can have some patience and just sort of go with it.
Penalty on number 29.
This is way after the whistle. Oh, that's even better. Good job. All right, well, that's probably what we shouldn't be doing.
Number 22, Claude Lemieux.
And I hate to say this way, but the graphics here, I mean, even though this is an original PlayStation game, the graphics here are pretty bad. I mean, like, wow. All right, here we go. So the controls are almost exactly the same as on the Genesis. It's not that hard for me to figure out like what to do to speed up. And that's a pretty interesting sort of shake there by the camera. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but you can just push, what am I pushing here? X or something like that to just advance to the next thing. All right, here we go. Pretty good, right? Now, I will say though that one of my problems with this, compared to the, the Genesis versions of, NHL and stuff like that, is that the handling when you're skating feels kind of, I don't know, it doesn't feel like an EA NHL game. It's just sort of like you just kind of push where you want to go and then you go there. It doesn't have that natural like skating feel to it. Okay, I'm not sure what it was showing me there. All right, here we go. All right, well, whatever it is we did there, we probably don't want to do that again.
Assisted by Mike Keene.
All right, let's see if we can do something here, huh? So that's all right overall. I mean, this isn't like a bad game. I know there were people talking about how they love this game, and you spend time like creating players and playing full seasons and stuff like that. And I mean, overall, this definitely is not a bad game. There's just a couple of things with the controls that feel a little bit off to me, but that's all. And then, of course, the graphics are, I mean, it's an early 3D game on the PlayStation, so the graphics naturally are going to be not necessarily all that they could be. All right, here we go. I think I waited a little bit too long to pass there. I tried for a slap shot there, but I just sort of popped that up. I'm not sure if I did it right or not. Well, that didn't work very well. Okay.
Goal scored by number 48, Scott Young, assisted by Joe Sackett and Craig Wolanin. Injury to number 44, Rob Niedermeyer. Penalty on number 7, Curtis Decision.
I love how excited he was when he says penalty on number 7. I haven't tried left and right yet. I think I'm going to mess around a little bit with those and see if I can figure out what's going on. I think that's how you sort of like change, which side you've got the puck on or something like that. Anyway, if I did have one complaint about this game, at least so far, it's that sometimes when you're waiting for the face-off, it gives you this like screen where it's like, what's going on, Like the game doesn't know what it's doing. My other complaint, of course, is that we just gave up a shorthanded goal.
Number 8, Sandis Ozolinsh, assisted by Patrick Watt.
All right, let's go. Here we go. Oops. All right, I didn't mean to do that. I presume that 26:31 means there's 26 seconds left on the penalty. Yeah, that's what it means. Like, unless they gave him a 30-minute penalty, that would have been pretty interesting. Anyway, I can say about this game so far that at least it's got a pretty easy like control system and interface to figure out. I'm not like, you know, geez, I'm not like running around wondering what it is I'm supposed to be doing. I am wondering why it is that we can't seem to play defense, but that's another issue.
Assisted by Joe Sackett.
There are a couple of those times here, though, in this game where I feel like, you know, things are kind of getting stuck and I'm not entirely sure what just happened and why, which makes it sort of a classic, I think, early 3D type game. And I've said this before about other games. This isn't really like a true 3D game. It's not like, you know, NHL Stanley Cup on the Super Nintendo, right, where you're like totally confused because you can't tell what's going on. This is really more of a 2D game with 3D characteristics. Now, whether this approach to the 2D game is like what you want to see or not is a completely different question. And, you know, I can tell you that it doesn't have kind of that smooth feel that NHL 94 had to it. It feels like the other NHL 2D games after 94. It feels a little bit quick. Maybe that's the reason why we're giving up so many goals. This has been a pretty pathetic performance. And I had it on rookie, right? You saw that. I set it to rookie. I mean, like, how does that go in?
Goal scored by number 7.
How do you let that goal in?
Goal scored by number 9.
Yeah, let's go to the face-off. All right.
Assisted by Mike.
I mean, even when I played NHL 2004, it wasn't this bad. And that one didn't use this control pad. That one used both of those, whatchamacallit, like cursor-type trackpad things or whatever it was.
Goal scored by number 21. Peter Forsberg.
I don't know. So yeah, maybe we just have the wrong goalie in there or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on. He made a save that time.
Penalty on number 20, Brian Strudland.
Yeah, you know, I think committing a penalty like that, I think that that'll help make this game a little bit closer. Go back, go back. I'm not sure how I got that. I thought that I wasn't going to get that. See, as soon as my player touched it, I had control of him, which surprised me. That's the reason why we kind of dumped that in. And we have committed another penalty.
Penalty on number 3, Paul Laws.
Kind of a shame, by the way, that there was nobody else in the penalty box when you went there. So, again, the graphics here are kind of basic. There we go. All right, well, there's the first period. We've got 2 more of these to go. I wasn't expecting the first period to take this long. Usually for these games, it doesn't take that long.
What a shootout we have going here. The offenses are in high gear tonight, and we've seen a lot of great scoring chances. The fans have to be happy with the action, but I'm sure the coaches would like the defense to tighten up and take some pressure off the goalies. It looks like the players are back on the ice. Let's go down for the face-off.
All right, I don't think I want to look at any stats here. It'll only depress me.
Goal scored by number 13.
I can't really do much about it. So they took away my ability to, run into them after they score a goal. Missed him. All right, let's go, guys. All right, we'll take it around the back here. Let's go. Let's attack. So I would have assumed that you'd hold down the button for a slap shot. I've tried that a couple times now, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Anyway, the other thing I'll say is the camera angle here, it's okay with its effect. However, it is kind of easy to get lost. The zooming in and zooming out stuff that we just saw was a little bit distracting. All right, here we go. And the other thing that's weird is that, we're going to have a face-off here in this zone, and so we skate. I'm not sure where we're skating to, but we're skating someplace far away. Oop. All right. Here we go again. This has been a little bit quiet of a game as I'm still trying to figure out what precisely it is I'm supposed to do. I will say though that as we saw before in the earlier video with NHL 2004, that they really had things changed for that one. That one was great. The technology did make a difference as the years went by, that's for sure. All right, here we go. Okay, so that button there, the thing that's Y, I can't remember the PlayStation 1 controller buttons, but the thing I'm pushing is Y, is like a fake shot. Okay, pick it up. So is there a reason why my computer-controlled teammates can't, you know, go get the puck? All right, here we go again. So I know I was saying this about, it's a later game actually, NHL 2002 on the Game Boy Advance, but for this game I feel sort of the same thing, which is that it's kind of hard for me to like see where my teammates are and to see exactly what's going on. Part of that I think is sort of just like the hardware limitations of this console, but part of it has to do with the camera and the way that the camera works. And it does feel like sort of like a letdown after playing all that NHL 94. That's in addition, I've already mentioned the controls, and what was that? I mean, seriously, what was that? How did that happen?
Number 9, Mike Ricci.
Yeah, that was a little bit better. That felt a little bit more like an actual slap shot. Yeah, we've had nothing but face-offs one after another here for a little while. This is one of the reasons why this video is kind of running long. It's been kind of like the same thing over and over again here. There we go. Good move, huh? No, we haven't seen any fights yet either. Maybe we'll see something come up, who knows. We still have a lot of game to play, though. We still have the whole third period.
Penalty on number 55, Ed Jovanovski.
Penalty on number 55. All right, here we go. Jeez, man. All right, we're probably going to put the other goalie in.
Goal scored by number 52, Adam Foote, assisted by Patrick Waugh.
Patrick Waugh has 2 assists now in this game.
Goal scored by number 20.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about this. This has been pretty ugly. We were doing okay for a little while there. See, like right there, that's a great example of it. I had no idea if I had a guy next to me or not, right? I mean, like, you can try for a one-timer, right? Obviously, just like in the other NHL games, but in most of the earlier games, you could at least, like, somewhat see that you have somebody next to you. Here, you can't see it at all. You're just kind of, like, taking a shot in the dark. There we go. All right, let's try this again, huh? And they've got another penalty on us once again. So we can't even get through the second period here without giving up yet another penalty. All right, here we go. All right, let's try this again. So, you know, when you consider that most of these games I've been able to play in like a half hour or less, this one has taken quite a while. And it's kind of funny because, you know, people have asked before about like offside and, you know, stuff like that. I've been turning offside off so that we can avoid having face-off after face-off, but that's exactly what we've run into here. So...
welcome back.
13-0.
We're now in the intermission after a great individual display of offensive hockey. We have already had a hat trick, and we still have plenty of hockey to go. It will take a lot more attention defensively to get this player under control. It looks like the fans are revved up, the players are on the ice, and we've got some more hockey coming right up.
All right, we'll go back to him and let's give it another try.
Penalty on.
Oh, that didn't take long.
Claude Lemieux.
There were times like right there where I want to switch to a different defender and I push the button and I get somebody who's like way out of the play. I mean, somebody I can't even see. All right, here we go. And there it goes.
Penalty on number 3. Paul Laws.
Well, we can't have an advantage for any considerable period of time, right? I mean, that wouldn't be fair. And these goalie animations too are a little bit over the top, you know, given kind of what's actually happening. I mean, I know it's the you know, first NHL game on the PlayStation. This is NHL 97, so like, you know, you can't go into it expecting like perfection or anything like that, but it is a little bit over the top in terms of the animations. It's kind of awkward. All right, here we go. Well, and there it went. There we go again. Well, what kind of pass was that? Jeez, not even close. We had two guys there in the middle, and we couldn't find either one of them. See, like right there, for example, right? I had no idea that we had a guy coming down that side. I couldn't see him. I was trying to go back sort of towards the center. Instead, it passes it to the invisible man. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Alright, let's set it up here. There we go. Oh, and no, nobody wants to come with me. Everyone wants a line change. Okay. Well, we'll just do that for a little while there. Oh. Now we've given up a breakaway. Anyway, I'm not 100% sure that I would say that this game is better than that Blades of Steel 2000 that we were playing here on the PlayStation a couple, like a week or two ago. I mean, it's not... The thing is, it's not like an awful game. I'm not going to tell you like, oh man, this is a horrible game, don't play it or whatever. It's not that bad. It's just that there are a couple of like animation things and things like that where I'm like, I'm not sure what exactly is going on, right? I feel like this was sort of... I think this was EA's first like 3D NHL game. And it kind of shows. I think that our biggest problem here is the goalkeeping. I mean, we've had 52 shots on goal, so, you know, it hasn't been awful. In fact, it's like incredible. It's like insane number, right? For not having scored anything. You also have to realize that this is, you know, not that far away from the game that we just played the other day, which was NHL 95, right? This is 97. So it's not like, you know, they had tons and tons of years to make a bunch of technological changes and stuff like that. I mean, for all intents and purposes, the game underneath the hood is pretty similar to that, I would say. I'm not sure what I was trying to do there. Whatever it was, it didn't work. Go, 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 baby. Hey, we scored a goal. See, I know how to play this game.
Number 27, Scott Mellenby.
So that's a reward for everybody who actually has sat through this whole catastrophe. If you made it this far, congratulations. You saw my first goal in NHL 97. Surprised it wasn't called for a penalty for that one. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right. I don't want to see how many shots on goal they have now. That's beside the point. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, well, it's been relatively quiet here in the third period. That's a little bit more like it. And see, we're even on face-off wins, so yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I mean, you know, it's easy for us to win a face-off. It's easy for us to figure out what's going on. It definitely is on rookie level, except for the fact that we kept giving up goals like it was going out of style. All right, here we go again. Or we'll just give that up once again. So now it's 15-1. Anyway, I can tell you this, if I was going to do like a major season and like get really into one of these games, I'm not sure that I would choose this one. I think NHL 2004 is a little bit more down my alley. It's not, again, like this game's a really bad game. It's just that it's missing a lot of sort of quality of life stuff. Oh, there are fights in this game. How about that? This fight is pathetic.
Penalty on.
Oh, that was it. Okay, they don't let me actually knock him out. All right.
Penalty on number 52, Adam Foote.
Well, we had to have a fight at some point in time, so it's a good thing we did.
Remaining in the period.
There's the interference call.
Penalty on number 20, Brian Strubel.
I'm just surprised I didn't have one of those before, because there were a couple of times where I made a like full head of steam over to the goalie, and nothing happened to me as a result. I'm not sure how I wound up backwards in the goal, but that's kind of what happened.
Goal scored by number 13, Valerie Kamensky.
And that was it, man. So they scored that goal at the very last second. 16-1. Well, that's the end of that. Yeah, we didn't have anybody even come close to being one of the 3 stars of the game. So, yeah, I mean, they had 75 shots. We had 61. We did have a 1% shooting percentage. Should have been a little bit over 1% because we did make 1 shot. Yeah, we tried 18 one-timers, didn't score a single one. And we were about even on face-offs, almost even on body checks. We had more penalties. We were actually in the attacking zone more than they were, and we didn't do so well in passing. It's something that's common in these games I've been playing, so I should probably figure out what I'm doing one of these days.
Well, that's the end of the 3rd period in a real blowout. You have to play defense in the NHL, and we certainly didn't see much of that tonight. The winners have to be pleased to have this one in the books early. Thanks, then, for joining us. I'm John Davidson. Good night from EA Sports.
That's right. Good night and good luck from EA Sports. So there you have it. That's NHL 97 on the PlayStation. That's the original. So, yeah, that gives you an idea sort of what this is like. And I don't know, we'll probably play through a couple more of these 3D games and alternate them with these 2D games or something like that as we go on. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed that. I kind of did, I suppose. And I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.